I seen your biggest interviews of the year. Of course, I was on there. I think I was at 4.9 million or something.
Right.
6ix9ine was at, I think it was 10 million or 12 million last I've seen.
That Tekashi interview is at 16 million last I checked.
16 million?
16 million, yeah.
Wow. And
the first one. The second one is not as big, but the first one's the big one.
But you would consider, that's definitely, where do you think, number-wise, where that interview is going to stop at?
I don't know, maybe 20.
20 million.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and for example, on Spotify, it's our biggest interview ever on Spotify. So yeah, no man, like, love him or hate him, that guy does numbers.
Yeah, no, I've seen the numbers because, I look at the numbers and I just think of the profit. No, I know you made some profit on that one.
I mean, it was my most expensive interview ever, but it was also one of my most profitable interviews ever.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So one day I'm going to sit down and break down numbers with you. I don't want to get into all that now because I know we'll be here for days. But I know you spent a penny, but you made a good penny, and it's at 16 million, which is great. How long it's been? About 2 months now? A month?
Yeah, about 2 months. And shout out to Akademiks because I originally wasn't going to do it because when we were working out the price, I'm like, that's too much. And Ak was like, no, man, you're gonna make double that back. And I'm like, all right. When me and Ak talk, I'm like, okay, like, Ak really knows what he's talking about. So when he said it, I started thinking about it. I'm like, all right, let's make this happen. And it took a while, but we finally got together and did it. I flew out to Florida, and I think it's dope because he did so many interviews around that time, but I feel like my interview was far and beyond the biggest one. Even when you compare it to like the Aiden Rosses, who are like major streamers, like mine did way bigger numbers than everybody. So I think a lot of people just wanted to see us two together and do our thing.
Right.
And,
the interview did numbers. It's undeniable. You can't say 6ix9ine don't do. When did you and Akademiks relationship start? It's been a while. Y'all had a relationship for how long now? Been cool for a while.
I mean, when Akademiks was popping, I mean, even before he got to Complex, I'd already seen sort of what he was doing. He was really like the first streamer in the hip hop space. He was the first one that was getting online, staying online for 5, 6, 7 hours, having his whole chat community, and really being very vocal about his opinions, going back and forth with people, not backing down. I learned a lot of stuff just rocking with Akademiks because there's a lot of times before where things would happen and I would just not say nothing and people would come up with their own versions of the story and those stories would keep growing and whatever else. Like I learned to just start addressing things a lot quicker. Like for example, the whole Joyner Lucas lawsuit, which I talked about with Wack yesterday, that's going to come out today.
Right.
Like, I addressed it right away because I didn't want this whole like Vlad's trying to extort Joyner for an interview, which is what he was putting out there to keep, building and churning into reality. It's like, nah, that's not what happened. He was given a couple options. He told me to suck his dick and call my lawyer, and that's what I did. The lawyer part, not the dick part.
Right. No, pause.
Because that sounded crazy when I said it out loud. But that's the whole thing. Like, I'm now getting in front of it, and I did a whole 30-minute response to it, or like the Farrakhan thing, when it was like, yo, I wasn't saying nothing. It was making the situation worse. I finally just addressed it, and now I can address it every time. But I saw Akademiks. I saw the potential really early with him. Right. And that's the thing with a lot of these dudes in my space. I see when they're starting to bubble. I reach out to them early. I don't hate. Because that's the thing. You see like the Peter Rosenbergs of the world, who just hate on every other, person in the space that comes up and talk shit about them and so forth. I'm the exact opposite. I've always embraced everybody. Like, ask Charlamagne. We've talked about this, publicly. I was the first person to find him when he was still in South Carolina on the radio before Wendy Williams
that's why you and him have a good relationship like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's why me and Ak are cool. This is why me and Charlamagne are cool. This is why me and Sean Cotton are cool. This is why me and Adam 22 are cool. Like everyone, me and Traplo Ross are cool. Me and 1090 Jake are cool. These are all people that I reached out to early, put them on my platform, said, yo, here's my number. If you ever have any questions, like these dudes will call me up and be like, yo, like, how do I structure a company? How do I hire people? Like how do I hire managers? How do I, grow things? Like we have a lot of conversations because I'm just older and I've done it before. And I've always had an open door policy, and these dudes all rock with me, and I learn a lot from them too. They bring a lot of resources to me.
I didn't know you had a relationship with Say Cheese Sean Cotton. I didn't even realize that that you knew him from way back like that.
No, man, I've had Sean on my show multiple times. He used to, he said on camera that he was working at Best Buy and he was watching Vlad TV interviews on his lunch breaks, and he said, "Man, maybe I could do that. Let me do my own version of that," and look what happened. It turned into a real serious business for him. Same thing, Adam 22. Adam watches all my interviews, like seriously. Like he'll hit me and be like, "Yo, like interviews I don't think anyone's even watching." Like he watches, and he kind of based Vlad, no jumper on what Vlad TV was doing, but of course he had his own thing. He's more into the porn, he's into other, the face tats and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
More and more the underground artists, and he did great with it. But this is someone I rock with also. A lot of these dudes, man, because I feel like we could all win working together as opposed to beefing. Because I feel like that beef shit is lame.
Y'all definitely all got great relationships. Adam, he's doing his thing. Akademiks.
I mean, even the Camerons. Like, I've been on Cameron's show, right? Even the Camerons, like.
Do you feel like sometimes people think that guys like you and Akademiks and Adam are a little cocky because y'all are actually some of y'all are making as much as a rapper as more as a rapper now? Do they feel like y'all are cocky? No, just being honest.
Yeah, man, we're all cocky in our own way. We all built these platforms ourselves. None of us had labels. None of us had investors. And we got to the point where we have a following that's bigger than some of these artists. So when these artists start to disrespect and do shit, when we respond, our voices are sometimes bigger than the artists' voices. Look, Meek Mill really had a problem with what Akademiks was doing to him over the years. Like he said that, like, I remember we were talking about like how Meek's label was like, "Yo, Akademiks is like hurting your sales. Like people aren't rocking with you because of Akademiks." And it's like, why don't you just make nice with them as opposed to just dissing them all the time? And at certain points they made nice together. So I think it's just all part of it, man. There's certain artists out there that just never have to do media, like a Playboy Cardi or like a Kendrick. Right, but those are few and far between. Like most times, you get to know the artist through the interviews, and you know what I mean? Because there's the music, and then there's who they really are, and sometimes it can hurt them. Right. So, for example, I feel like most people liked Young Thug better before he started doing interviews.
You think so?
That's how I feel. Because once he started going on the whole, media tour, trying to convince everyone that he's not a snitch, I feel like the mystique of a Young Thug is now gone. And people aren't really rocking with him the way they did before.